Hey everyone, Rob the Average Lawn Guy. Welcome back to the channel. So looking behind me, it's been roughly about a week since I leveled / top dressed my Bermuda lawn. Now I did not go heavy this year with the leveling. Last year I went pretty heavy in my front yard, but this year I did a very light top dressing on my front yard, and I also did my sides and a little bit of my backyard. So we're gonna go through the process on exactly what I did for that. Now guys, before you even think about doing a project like this, the first thing you gotta do, the very first thing you gotta do is set some time off, or at least make sure you have time to do this. You're gonna need about 2 to 3 days just to apply this to your lawn, make sure it's leveled out and smooth, and you're just gonna have to come back because there's gonna be some type of movement, whether it's water moving the sand around or whatever the case is. You're gonna have to come back and smooth it out even more. So once you have your set time when you want to do this, the next thing you want to do is have the right tools. The tools you're gonna need for this job is obviously something to move the material around, whether it's a wheelbarrow or one of those gorilla carts. Whatever the case is, you need something to move the material to where you want on your turf. The next tool you'll need is some type of shovel for obvious reasons. You're also gonna need a leveling rake. A leveling rake, I think, is mandatory. Some people would say it's optional, but it's definitely mandatory. A leveling rake will make short work of the job. Also, it's very helpful to have some type of rake with a flat backside, which will aid you in spreading the material. Now, once you're ready to do this, you want to cut your lawn down. Cut it as low as you can make it. On the day of delivery, I had a truck come in and dump the materials on my driveway. What's really helpful is having some type of tarp to put the material on. This will make cleanup at the end much more easier. Here I am taking the materials and putting it into the wheelbarrow. And you're gonna see some footage right here of me doing just that. This is backbreaking. After a while, you start to think about life. Now I actually had a good neighbor come out and help me. He actually used the flat rake to actually spread the material out, while I used the leveling rake to work the material in. Combining our efforts saved a lot of time, so I really appreciated his help. So if you can get a buddy to help you out to do this, go right ahead. The more help, the better. Now, as this project went on, it got later and later, and I tried to do my best to actually knock the piles down. Come next morning, I came back out and started leveling everything with the leveling rake. The whole point is to work everything into the soil. You want to allow most of the grass blades to stick out. Now with Bermuda lawns, Bermuda is the one exception where you can probably bury it and it's going to come back because Bermuda is just that aggressive. But I highly don't recommend you do that unless you're really sure that your Bermuda is going to push through. And the only way that can happen is if your Bermuda is actively growing and it's in good sunlight. But usually the general rule of thumb is you want to put down about 1/4 to 1/2 inch of soil or sand and just work it in remember, you have to work it in no matter what, no matter how long it takes. Work it in. So once everything is perfectly smooth and worked in the best I can, the next thing I did is apply a fertilizer. Doesn't matter what type of fertilizer, choose what brand you prefer, but you apply a fertilizer in order to push and accelerate growth. After the fertilizer was applied, you got to make sure you water this in. You need to water, 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 and water some more. Now fortunately, I had a lot of help from Mother Nature. So Mother Nature actually came out and helped me water this some more, and it seemed like it rained every other day for the entire week. So this definitely helped out. Now here are some pictures I'm going to show you of the front, sides, and rear yards where I decided to top dress my lawn. You can see the improvement over a couple days. Now my final thoughts on the entire project and how did it go. I think it went pretty good. There was a few bumps in the roads, mainly because I saw a little bit of debris, wood chips, maybe a few rocks in the mixture itself. It wasn't that much of a big deal. I did just pull it out. But then again, the quality of the soil I feel was a little bit inferior compared to super sod. So it's something you may want to take into consideration. Super sod does cost more, but you're getting better material, so you're getting what you paid for. The other thing is mowing. Depending on how heavy of a top layer you put down, you're gonna have to wait and delay mowing until most of the grass has pushed through the sand mixture. In my case, I didn't apply too much of a layer, so I did end up mowing my lawn roughly about 3 days after applying the sand soil mixture. So you're gonna have to eyeball it and just decide whether you want to mow or just hold off on mowing. It's really depending on your situation and how heavy of a layer you put down. Now I did have to come back every day for the first 3 days just to smooth out minor areas. Again, they were minor, but it's something you'll have to consider doing, especially if there's any movement in the soil. So as long as you work the material in really well and you provide a lot of water, your grass will recover in about 2 weeks time. So the clip you just saw was shot a week after I did the lawn leveling / top dressing project, and you can see right now the lawn looks good. It's been 2 weeks and I had a good 5 days of rain, of straight rainfall, and that really helped the grass push through and establish itself. So if this is a project you're considering doing, or if it's your first time, I would encourage you to start small and just see how it goes. Do a section of your yard at a time, or just do one section. Like for example, do your backyard only, or just do your side yard. Start small and see how it goes, and then expand from that. If you're willing to do the whole thing at one time, go right ahead, but just be prepared for the work and be prepared to devote a good 2 days to making sure the material gets in. But when you do it, your grass is going to love it. It's good for your soil, and you're going to see a positive response to this. So get out there and enjoy the project. Hope you found this video useful, and if you're new to my channel, be sure to subscribe for more future content. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you later.